Hi friends, I am Mani. I am the blogger behind getmoneyrich.com. Today we are going to discuss the topic of money management. We will see various rules that we can follow as a part of good money management practice. But before going into the rules and details of money management, we should first understand that why money management is required. So to understand the requirement of money management, we should first answer a very simple question: why we earn money? We are earning money to take care of the expense priorities of life. Do you agree with me? I think yes, most of you will agree that we earn money to support our spending pattern. But here is the mistake. We are not earning money only to support the expenses. We are earning money for something much bigger. We have to do something more important in life than just to support the expense needs. What is that important thing? The important thing is net worth. We have to build our net worth. Why we are building net worth? Because when we build our net worth, we will reach that ultimate goal of achieving financial independence. So you can try to understand this pattern. Money management is a priority, and why we should do money management? We should do money management for two things. First is we have to support our expenses, and secondly we have to use our income to build net worth, and net worth we are building to achieve the ultimate goal of financial independence. So this should be the focus. We are earning money for what? We are earning money to reach that ultimate goal of financial independence. All of us, all common men, should have this goal. Do not earn money simply to spend it tomorrow. We are earning money to build a net worth. And how we are building net worth? By buying assets. So buy asset, build a net worth, and that accumulated asset, that net worth, is going to take you to that ultimate goal of financial independence. So in this video, we will see those various rules that we can follow as a part of good money management practice that will take us to that ultimate goal of financial independence. So if you are somebody who has a desire to practice good money management rules, then it is important for you to understand the bigger picture, that why you are thinking to manage your money in a good way. So I have tried to explain this bigger picture by means of a flowchart. In this flowchart, you will see how our income ultimately gets distributed into two parts. One is savings and other is the expense. So expense is also a priority and savings is also a priority, because from this saving ultimately we are going to build our net worth, and which will ultimately give us financial independence in life. So this is that flow chart that I personally follow very closely in my life. This flow chart keeps me always aware of that bigger picture, that why I am earning money and what is my ultimate goal. And while I focus on my ultimate goal, I cannot forget about the immediate priorities of my life. What are those immediate priorities? The expenses, the daily expenses, the monthly expenses, the annual expenses, the fees, the bills that I have to pay. So those also needs to be managed. But while managing these immediate necessities of life, I should not forget that what is the ultimate goal, what I want to achieve in my life. So this flow chart is one of the more clearer tools that gives me that clarity, that why I should need to manage my money in a more effective way. And this flow chart helps me to keeps me going. It keeps me going, and it keeps me following those essential rules of good money management. So let's see those rules, and let's see step by step that how, as a common man, how we can start managing our money in a more effective way. So what is this first rule of money management? The first rule of money management is always build a budget and track your expenses. The whole bigger picture, the whole flow chart that I have shown you, that the process of money management in that whole scheme of things starts with budgeting and tracking expenses. A person who is not budgeting and tracking their expense will probably not reach that ultimate goal of financial independence. Why it is so? Because one of the biggest problems of our life is we overspend money. We spend more than what is required, and when we spend more, we are actually saving less. And if we have less savings, we cannot use those savings for those more essential requirements of life. What are the essential requirements? We have to build an emergency fund, we have to pay off our debts, we have to invest our money, we have to buy assets, build net worth, and ultimately those assets, that net worth is going to take us to financial independence. But because we spend more, we save less, and ultimately all other priorities starts getting compromised. So how to control this overspending habit? One of the best, and I suppose the only tool that we have in our hand to control this habit of overspending is to budget our expenses and track our expenses on daily basis. Each and every rupee that you spend must be tracked against a budget. Build a budget and track your expenses. Once you start tracking your expense, that tracker will immediately highlight that on which line items, on which those expense line items you tend to spend more. So you can focus on that line item, try to control your urge to spend, and that way you can save more. And once you have more consistent savings, and once you are saving consistently month after month, you can use those savings to build your asset, which will ultimately take you to financial independence. So what I'm trying to say is, the rule number one of money management is we should budget and track our expenses without fail. There is no alternative to this step. Start with this, and then you can start seeing the benefits of budgeting and tracking in times to come. The next important rule of money management is building an emergency fund. This is very, very important. If we have to reach to that ultimate goal of financial independence, building a big enough emergency fund is extremely important. So what is this emergency fund? Emergency fund basically consists of two things. Most of it is cash, and a part of it is insurance. So as a part of building an emergency fund, we should accumulate cash. How much cash we should accumulate? As a rule of thumb, the minimum cash as a part of emergency fund is 6 months worth of expense. If your expense is 50,000 rupees today, then as on today you must have an emergency fund of 3 lakh rupees. So this is the cash part. What is the insurance part? The insurance part is this insurance. The idea behind buying this insurance is that when some unforeseen emergency strikes in your life, you should have some backup to take care of those. What are those unforeseen happenings? It can be death, it can be some health emergency like hospitalization and other things, and one of the common third type of emergency can be the breakdown of your vehicle and other things. So 3 types of insurance is required. First is the life insurance, second is the health insurance, and third is the auto insurance. Have at least these 3 insurance as your backup. It should be a part of your emergency fund portfolio. Have some cash and have sufficient insurance, and that should build your emergency fund. The next rule of good money management is to pay off your debt. Suppose you are having some home loans, some personal loans, some credit card outstanding balance, some auto loans. Start paying off your debts. What is the idea? The idea is you have to become debt free. It's very important. Not many of us realize the importance of living a debt free life. What I am trying to say here is, if you have a desire to handle your money in a proper way, then first you build the emergency fund, and second, parallelly while you are building emergency fund, start paying off your debts. What it means by paying off your debts? The focus should be on making the loan balance as 0. I know it's a tough task, especially for people who are carrying home loans where the value of loan is much bigger. Making it 0 looks very daunting, but that is what you have to achieve, because financial independence is not an easy goal to achieve. There are very less people in this world who achieves financial independence, and the people who have achieved financial independence will vouch for this, that one of the biggest hurdle in their path was their loan outstanding, their debt. So, as a part of good money management practice, we must start paying off our debts in the first place. Start building your emergency fund, and also start paying off your loans. Let it be home loan, let it be any type of loan. Make it 0. Do not use your money anywhere else. Do not think about investment, do not think about fancy things. Just use your savings and divert into 2 parts. One part is building an emergency fund, and second part is making your loan balance as 0. So, what you should do? Prepare a list of all your loans. Note down those values, that how much loan balance is there, and start making prepayments. Target that each and every loan in that list becomes 0 after a certain interval of time. Forget about investment, forget about anything. Start focusing on paying your loans, making it 0. That will be a huge step for you as a part of good money management practice. So now we have reached a very important rule. This is the rule that is eventually going to take us to financial independence. This rule is, we have to start investing now. Till now, whatever we have done, we are budgeting, tracking expenses, we are not overspending, we are building emergency fund, we are paying off our debts, but we are not investing. But in this step, now we have started to invest money. So for me, the precondition is, if I have a sufficiently big emergency fund, if my debts are all 0, then I will start investing money. I will use all of my savings now to invest my money. My emergency fund is in place, my debts are 0, I have no loans, and now I will use all my savings for investment. So how should start the process of investment? First of all, before you invest even 500 rupees, make a list of goals that you want to achieve in your life. What is your goals of life? Why you want to invest money? Suppose your goal of life is retirement and your second goal of life is buying a home. Example. And suppose for retirement you need 1 crore rupees, and for buying a home you need 50 lakh rupees. So these are 2 goals, and you have also quantified your goals. One goal will cost you 1 crore and other goal is costing you 50 lakh rupees. So now you should build a plan that yes, these are my two goals and these are my values, and how I am able to achieve this goal within this time frame. So there should be a investment strategy. There should be a plan. Just do not start a SIP or just do not start buying stocks or mutual funds because you think that this is a part of investment. No, that will not be an investment. The investment will become more effective once you know your goals, and accordingly, as per those goals, you devise an investment strategy and you follow investing after that. So it is very, very important that before you actually start putting money in your investment, you have your goals in place, and you should know the cost of your goals, and you should know how much you should invest regularly to reach that goal. It's very important as a part of good investment practice. It is also important for us to realize that when we invest money, we somehow corner the requirement of saving tax. So before we actually spend money in mutual funds or equities or stocks directly, it is important for us to understand the priority that we should also save tax. So what I suggest is blend these two requirements together. Invest money in those options which can also save you tax. Suppose at this moment of time your tax liability is, let's say, 20%. So in your tax liability, do everything you can to bring your tax liability to minimum. If it becomes zero, it's well and good, but if you cannot make it zero, then invest as much money in those investment options which should bring your tax liability to as low as possible. Do not fall to the temptation of stocks or equity mutual funds because of their returns. It is extremely important for us to first save tax and then think about investment returns. When I started the practice, when I started thinking about how to manage money well in my life, I had this notion in my mind that if I will manage my money properly, then probably I will never need external loan to manage the expense requirements of my life. But I was wrong. Sometimes the expense requirements are so capital intensive that your savings alone, your income alone cannot meet those requirements. And one of the example of such a requirement is a home, buying a home. A home in a city like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, a decent house can cost close to 1 crore. So for a common man, such high capital requirements cannot be met just on basis of savings and income. So you are bound to resort to loans. But here it is very important that a person should understand that anybody cannot get a loan. So to get a loan, you must have built your credit worthiness. And how a credit worthiness is built? Credit worthiness is built by paying bills on time, by paying your credit card bills on time, by paying your all other bills, electricity bill, water bill, everything on time. Your check should not bounce, and these are the few things that you need to control. What I'm trying to say is, as a part of good money management practice, it is also important that we should also take care that whether our credit worthiness is getting built or not, because one day you might need to resort to loans to take care of some requirements. So as a part of good money management practice, always be aware that what is your credit worthiness. It is going up, going down, and if it is going down, it is concern. It is a big concern. So do everything to build your credit worthiness. And what are the things you should do? Pay your bills on time, especially your credit card bills. Do not overspend using your credit card. If your credit limit is, let's say, 5 lakh rupees, do not spend more than 50,000, 10% of your credit limit. And once you have spent those 50,000 rupees, in the next billing cycle, pay all of those 50,000. Clear your bills, make it zero. Every month when you start paying your bills like this, your credit rating will start to soar. And then it will reach a level where when you approach your bank that I need some loan, they will see your credit rating and they will say, no, he is a reliable person, he can be given a loan. No matter how high is your earning, if your credit rating report is not giving you good grades, you will probably not get a loan, or even if they give you a loan, they will charge a very high interest rate. So as a part of good money management practice, it is very, very important for us to keep our credit worthiness in control. So that's all, my friends. I hope you like this video on money management. There are few rules that I have touched that we can use as a part of good money management practice. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also press the bell icon so that whenever I post a new video, you will get a notification. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.